Welcome everybody to Surprisingly Relatable, where we bring you fun and realistic pro tips, knowledge, and hacks you can use for real to build win-win relationships and make work-life balance a reality. My name is Holly Burby, and each week I'll share with you a thought, story, or self-awareness shortcut that will help you to get unstuck, reconnect to your significance, and get focused and clear so you can relate to the people you care about the most. I truly believe that if we want to live a life of purpose and passion, it's time we put away the fake nicey nice and get to the root of how we can actually connect with each other in our homes and communities. That is how we can all succeed and move toward what we each want most. So if you're ready to be surprisingly relatable and evoke positive change that supports, uplifts, and inspires you and others in the world, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Listen, just a forewarning, if you are not in the mood to hear some honest truth in this moment, maybe you're not really in the mood today to hear some things that might ruffle your feathers just a little bit, you might not want to listen to this episode just yet and come back to it. But I promise this topic is so important because today I'm going to be talking with you about why people don't open up to you anymore. So I'm going to, in this episode, highlight for you exactly that, why people who previously may have opened up to you and shared more about their life with you, maybe why they have stopped that. But in addition to that, I'm also going to consider the other side. Maybe you are the person who used to open up about your life, your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts to people in your life and in your world. Maybe you've stopped, and I wonder if this is going to be relatable for you. Let's begin with the basics. What does it even mean to open up to someone in the first place? The word that comes to mind for me is vulnerability. And thank you to the work of Brené Brown, because Brené Brown, fabulous author, TED Talk extraordinaire, one of the top TED Talks ever created. Oh my good gracious. Great Netflix series twice now. Definitely check out the work of Brené Brown if you have not yet. She has put so much highlight on the subject of vulnerability and what it is and what it is not. Vulnerability has a bad rap of, if I am vulnerable, it ultimately means that I am weak. That is societally what we are conditioned to believe, where vulnerability, if you actually look it up in the dictionary, vulnerability will say something along the lines of open to attack. Okay, that might not sound much better than sounding weak. However, what open to attack means is that your guard is down. Your walls are down, that you are placing yourself in a situation when you are being vulnerable that you could be hurt in some way. Now, in the emotional sense, we're talking about becoming hurt emotionally, not hurt physically. But vulnerability, again, got a bad rap because people started saying that, well, if you are open and vulnerable, then people are more likely to hurt your feelings, take advantage of you, insert whatever storyline you want to hear. And in time, and again, through the research and all of the work that Brené Brown and her colleagues have completed and published in the public forum and in the public space, we're learning that vulnerability is so important because it is your ability, it is your permission slip that you are giving yourself to experience the full range of emotions and furthermore, be able to share your emotions and what you are feeling with other people in your world. And again, that doesn't only mean that vulnerability happens when you are crying or upset or grieving or depressed. Vulnerability and showing who you are emotionally in that space goes to the other side of the spectrum too. It's going to be your ability to show people your joy, the moments that thrill you, the moments that you feel passionate in. And so vulnerability ultimately means that you have a full self-expression that is happening. The reason I'm starting by talking about vulnerability when I'm speaking about why people wouldn't want to open up to you anymore is because when you as an individual, when myself as an individual, when we live our life from a vulnerable or an open space, meaning that with the people in our life, we are willing to share about things that we feel things about. We feel joy about this end of the spectrum, but we also feel worry or concern or anxiety about that side of the spectrum. When we bring that version of ourselves to a friendship, a business partnership, a work relationship, our relationship with our kids that we're raising, when we bring that version of ourselves and we open up to other people, we are subconsciously giving that person a permission slip to express fully their range of who they are right back to us. It's kind of like, if I put my wall down, will you put your wall down? Everyone is waiting for someone else to go first. So the first thing that we should look at is, if you have been in situations in your life where someone in your life that was very important to you in some capacity used to open up to you a lot and suddenly they're not, the first thing you want to check is, have you personally put a wall up? Have you personally stopped sharing with that person that you're trying to get reconnected with and learn more about? Have you distanced yourself in some way? Have you taken your level of vulnerability down a notch or 10? Because when we pull back with people in our life, the amount that we are exposing ourselves to them in our emotions, our thoughts, our feelings, etc., people oftentimes, they are going to follow suit. And that isn't always a conscious choice on their part. We all tend to have the ability to match one another's energy. So if you are very open and what's the word I want to use? If you are feeling open and authentic and truthful with them about who you are to the best of your ability, and that's the energy that you bring to that partnership, that relationship, that friendship, etc., they're probably going to do the same thing in return. If you begin to shut yourself down for whatever reason, whether it's related to that person or not, they will likely follow suit. So that's one of the first reasons why people will stop opening up to you, is because you have stopped opening up who you are. You've put something up, so therefore they're going to follow suit. Another reason, and something that comes up so much more commonly with my private coaching clients, another reason why people will stop opening up to you when they once did is because they no longer feel safe with you. Now, before any of you may think, safe, I'm safe. I've never physically hurt anyone, or I'm not yelling at someone when they don't, there's no reason to do so. The safety I'm talking about in this moment isn't physical safety. Let's assume physical safety in this example is absolutely in place. A lot of my clients come to me, they feel, of course, physically safe in their relationship with their significant other or with someone that they're very close to in their life, a parent they're trying to get along with better, for example. But what happens is they notice that the person starts opening up to them less and less and less. And it's because that person doesn't feel emotionally safe with them anymore. So then with my guidance of asking my clients questions, we start to explore and get to the bottom of why that person may suddenly feel less emotionally safe around them. So one of the common things that happens is undue criticism or criticism when the recipient isn't ready for it. Feedback when they're not ready for it. So notice, even with today's episode, I opened by saying to you, if you're not in the mood to hear something that might strike a nerve, don't listen, right? Like giving you that permission to say, maybe I'll listen to this one later. I'm having a day. So what happens is, let's say you are in a partnership of some sort. Let's use a work example. You are on a team with someone in your office, and the team you all are working on You have a project, you have something you're trying to accomplish. And every time they come back to you to show you what they have accomplished, your response is more critique, it's more criticism than it is acknowledgement or gratitude. It doesn't even have to be void of acknowledgement or gratitude, but if you put the two on a scale, it probably means that your level of critique and criticism outweighs the amount of gratitude or acknowledgement that you're giving that person. So that person starts to get in their bones, in their senses, in their body. Oh, every time I show my contribution of this project to this person, I'm going to be criticized. I'm going to be somehow told that I didn't do enough, or I did it wrong, or the things I did well are not going to be spoken of, only the things that I didn't do up to par. And that can take an emotional toll on people. With my clients, it's often regarding not only work situations of that nature, but in their personal life, and for a lot of my clients in their marriages or in their long-term partnerships, where their partner opens up to them less and less, and my client, it's brought to their attention that their partner thinks that they are overly critical, that their partner feels that they've been criticized so much that it creates an experience for their partner of, you know what, I can't even win. Why am I even going to try? They're just going to tell me I'm doing it wrong. They're just going to tell me that it should have been done the way that they like it. Or again, the criticism and the critique outweighs the acknowledgement of it being complete at all, or the gratitude for the components of that thing or that task, etc., that did get done. So if someone is pulling away from you and opening up less and less, again, the main factor you want to look at is to look at yourself. If it isn't the first situation I described where you're putting a wall up, where therefore they're going to put a wall up and share with you less and less, perhaps it's like the second situation I've just given you, where it's time to consider, if you again put the two ways you communicate with that person on an imaginary scale in your mind, consider how many times, percentage-wise, are you critiquing and criticizing what they do for the team, for your family, for your dynamic, for your relationship, and compare it on the scale to how often you show them acknowledgement or gratitude. And what we're ideally seeking to create is a dynamic where that person feels appreciated more than they feel criticized. Because again, that criticism, albeit in the moment, it doesn't cause a blow up conversation or an argument or somebody quitting their job and leaving the team and walking out the door. It's not dramatic and huge, but it chips away slowly but surely over time to where that person, because they just emotionally cannot take it anymore to know that they're going to face another criticism, they just stop trying. They pull back and they stop opening up to you. There are some other things that I can say about this topic. I recently did a live stream on Facebook talking about different reasons why teenagers and kids pull away from their parents or don't open up to their parents, and some tricks and tips and hacks on how to make that better. If you'd love for me to make that into a podcast episode, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you in the comments regarding, is there someone in your life where you feel they're pulling away from you and opening up less and less? And what are you learning about yourself from listening to this episode today? What is a shift or a change you can make in how you speak to the people in your life that you love and care about most, so that they can start to feel assured or reassured again of how much you love and care for them and want the best for them? I hope this was supportive. As always, thrilled that you are here. Thank you in advance for being a listener and a subscriber. And until next time, I'll talk to you all next time. Thanks for listening. And if you love this episode and know of someone else who's passionate about creating authentic relationships with people, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, I'd super appreciate it if you'd take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. And until next time, show love always, in all ways, and may you discover that we're all surprisingly relatable.